So next we're going to talk about vitamins. And vitamins are nutrients made by living things and are required in small amounts and assist in many chemical reactions. There are two types of vitamins that we're going to talk about. And we're going to talk about the fat-soluble and water-soluble. The main thing to remember here are that fat-soluble vitamins, they can be toxic. So if you consume too many of them, it can be toxic to the body because they're stored in fat. So the body doesn't excrete them, they're stored. A, D, E, and K, they occur in vegetable oils, liver, and eggs. And again, they can be stored in the body. Your water-soluble vitamins are excreted from the body. So if you consume too many of them, someone would just urinate or defecate them out. Those are your B vitamins, folic acid, biotin, vitamin C, and they're found in fruits and vegetables. Now we have minerals, naturally occurring in rocks and soil. There are 24 different minerals that are good for your health, and you need 7 of them: calcium, sodium, potassium, magnesium, phosphorus, chlorine, and sulfur. You also need trace amounts of the following: iron, fluorine, iodine, copper, and zinc. Calcium and vitamin D, they help prevent osteoporosis. What is osteoporosis, you might ask? I'm glad that you asked that. That is when the bones become weak. And oftentimes this happens as individuals age and they get older. And a way to help prevent that is to have a diet rich in calcium and vitamin D, especially when you're younger. Iron helps prevent anemia. Water is going to be the last class of nutrients that we're going to talk about. 65% of your body is water. So consuming enough water is going to be integral. And each person will utilize more water than someone else. And there are a lot of factors to that, and we're going to talk about those. Nearly all the body's chemical reactions take place in some type of water solution. So if you don't have the proper amounts of water, the body cannot function at 100%. And it can't keep what's called, again, homeostasis. This is the steady state of the body. Water contains dissolvable substances called electrolytes that regulate many processes in your cells. Sodium, potassium, and chloride are all examples of electrolytes. So we're going to talk about dehydration and preventing it. So if you look on the right, it says that women typically would consume 10 8-ounce cups of water and males 14. You may be thinking, well, why? Why would it be different for the two different genders, male and female? Well, the reason why that is because males are typically bigger. The bigger you are, the more water you're going to consume. Is this a 100% all the time fact? It is not. There are some women that are bigger than men and vice versa. But this is just a general rule, by the federal government. Now, for instance, for me, I'm a really big person. I'm 260 pounds. I work out all the time, depending on how much I sweat that day after I'm done school and working out. I consume anywhere from a gallon to a gallon and a half of water a day. And for each person, it's going to be different. The more muscle mass you have, the bigger you are, the more active you are, your environment that you live in. If you live in Florida, you're going to consume more water because it's hot than somebody that lives in Maine. All right, so it just really depends on the individual, the situation, and the circumstance. If you consume things like coffee, tea, soda, all of these things have caffeine in them. Caffeine is a diuretic, meaning that it pulls water from cells and your body urinates it out. So if you consume these things, that's going to cause you to have to drink more water as well. Some symptoms of dehydration are weakness, rapid breathing, cramping, and a weak heartbeat. So we're going to talk about water versus sports drinks. Now, for athletes, sports drinks are great. Someone that is really keyed in on performance. So they're not worried about maybe gaining weight. They're not worried about losing weight. They want to perform in the sport that they're performing in. Sports drinks are great for that. It allows for the electrolytes to be replenished. It allows for simple carbohydrates to be introduced to the body. These simple carbohydrates are then digested, absorbed very quickly into the bloodstream and utilized by the body. They're great. For someone that is using exercise for general health to maintain body weight, sports drinks can oftentimes be your worst enemy, and there's a couple of reasons why. They're packed with calories. There's so much sugar inside of a sports drink, and if someone were to consume, say, 300 calories in a bottle of Gatorade post-workout, so as soon as they're done their workout, they're like, man, I'm beat. They go buy a Gatorade, they slam the Gatorade down. You're putting 300 calories right back into your body. So you're basically putting in calories that you're going to burn through really quick because the body burns through that sugar really quick, and you're not going to be what's called satiated, meaning that you're not going to be full. You're not going to be satisfied with that as a post-workout meal. So then you're going to go home and then you're going to eat a full meal on top of it. You could be consuming anywhere from 1,000 calories post-workout between your meal and the sports drink that you are consuming. And that really puts a damper on someone when it's their goal to lose weight. So trying to eat foods that are more satiating, that are more calorically dense than sports drinks post-workout is going to be way more beneficial for somebody that's trying to lose weight. It'll keep you fuller longer. There's more benefits to it. Someone that's trying to lose weight doesn't really need to consume sports drinks. It's really for athletes, people that aren't really concerned with that, and they're just concerned about performance. So keep that in mind moving forward. Right here, you can see the food plates. So we have fruits, grains, protein, vegetables, and dairy. The biggest section of the food plate, boom, vegetables. The vegetables should be the biggest portion on your food plate. Now, this doesn't necessarily represent calories. This represents portions on your plate. So you can see that the abundance of the plate should be covered with vegetables, but that doesn't necessarily mean, again, that all of your calories are coming from vegetables. Your proteins and your grains are going to be rather caloric density is going to be really high on those, I should say. So most of your calories are still going to come from your protein and grains, but this is just an example of what your plate could look like. Now, does that mean that every meal you eat has to look like this? Absolutely not. There are certain foods that can cover the food plate rather well, but it doesn't look anything like this. An example would be a sandwich. So you might have your protein, so you have your turkey, especially if it's freshly carved turkey rather than processed sliced turkey. That's even better. So if you have turkey with cheese, so we have our proteins, and then we have maybe lettuce and pickles, and we have the grain of the bread. The cheese also covers in the dairy, and maybe we have a side of blueberries or something. That meal doesn't look anything like you're looking at right now, but it covers everything in that food plate. Soups would be another example. So you can, again, consume things that don't look like that food plate. This is just a general guideline. For more info on the food plate, you can go to choosemyplate.gov. It's the government website for the nutritional guidelines. And again, based off everybody's goals, these things are going to, sway a little bit in different directions, but it's a good general basic guideline for those trying to consume foods and just be healthy. So what you're going to do now is go ahead and check out the review over on the Google Classrooms. And again, up top, the emails are listed. If you have any issues, going into or getting this stuff done, make sure that you email us. You can email any of the teachers up top. Also, don't forget, check the Google Classrooms constantly because we're going to be updating it. And I hope you're ready to learn more in the future. And that's it. We're done for this session. But we have another session of nutrition. We're not done yet, but we're done for right now. Make sure you go check that assignment out and get it done.